Here we are. Like and subscribe. Alp, the #1 nicotine brand in the United States. Full on Republican now. As soon as you start chewing Alp, chewing. Can you even call this chewing?
No.
Says the lifetime chewer.
No, you cannot.
What are your thoughts on that?
I'm doing it so that I can eventually stop chewing.
Do you feel like a pussy now?
I feel, well, I don't know. I think
So defeated.
I think it's like training wheels for chewing.
Oh, so you think it's like a gateway to real chew?
No, I think it's chew light.
Yeah. It's definitely that. It wannabe chewers.
Wannabe chewers, yeah.
See, that's what's funny is like I feel like it's this train tracks, and it depends on which end you're starting from. If you've been chewing for forever, you go to these to then eventually quit. But if you've never chewed and you start with these, you're on the train to go to real chew.
I don't know, because it's different. It's a just try one. Just try it.
Yeah.
It's completely different. You know,
Yeah.
like with regular chew, you're actually getting tobacco and tobacco juice. And you don't start out swallowing tobacco juice. Where this, you can put in your mouth and just like, oh, just,
Like gum.
So this just almost seems like easy and
Like the function of it is easier than chew. Like there's less maintenance with it.
oh, yeah.
Like you don't have to like know how to do anything with it.
In regular chew, you have to keep it packed in your lip. So, you know, with your tongue moving,
Yeah.
keeping it. And
there's no skill involved with
no,
these.
there's not.
There's
I
no
feel
learning
like this
curve.
is, I hope it's not, but I think it's just trendy right now. This is like vaping for kids that can't smoke now.
Which seems like it's huge,
It is.
which
But-
is crazy.
It's, yeah, I mean, you're like, same thing with this. You're trading one for the other.
Yeah. Well, I feel the same way about vaping, like the train tracks thing. You're either starting from smoking or you're starting from nothing, and you're just headed in one of those directions.
Yeah, and I think this is easier. Or, I mean, like, vaping is easier than smoking because that's more acceptable.
Yes.
You can vape in a bar most places.
Yeah.
But you can't smoke in a bar.
The amount of people that like on these conventions, like setting up the stages and all that stuff, like the amount of people that are just vaping all the time while we're doing that is crazy.
I've seen parents vape in the ballroom.
Yeah.
While classes are going on with their kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
I
be
can
like,
see that.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, but that's so obviously not allowed.
Which it's like, I don't know. It seemed, yeah, you don't want to be rude about it, but at the same time, it's like, this just seems like you're getting away with smoking indoors.
Yes, exactly.
And for all the shit that's come out about how bad vaping is, they want to pull the secondhand smoke thing with smoking. What is going on with the vape secondhand, if anything?
I don't think it is. Because I think once you exhale, it's not like smoke where it lingers in the air.
But it just smells like
Yeah.
fruity.
Yeah, but
The,
you still
whatever.
smell
the flavor may, or
Yeah.
like the
like
smell
vape
of it.
smell is so specific.
Yeah.
Well, you can get all different kinds of flavors.
But it's so artificial. Like it's not like, oh, that's someone's perfume. It's like someone's vaping.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah.
and it's always that. It's always like fruity. I don't know. It's got this weird fruity to chemical smell.
Towards like that's not a mix of someone's natural smells, or like I said, like a perfume.
It might
or
have been like
spray.
a lotion or something
No,
like
yeah.
that.
But
It's
that's
so
the same
clearly
thing with these pouches, nicotine pouches. They're chemically tasting.
Yes, for sure.
And I mean, you can get citrus flavored and mango flavored. And
Yep.
so there's still.
I'm waiting for a blue raz.
A blue raz. Yeah.
What if they had extended pre-workout nicotine pouches? Or just pre-workout pouches?
I wonder
Yeah.
if they do,
$1 million idea.
and that
Yeah.
you'll never do.
I won't.
We can't post this podcast. Yeah.
Pre-workout.
You said that Rogue has an apple, or is it Zyn has an apple flavor? Or no, not at all.
I know Rogue doesn't.
Because green apple would be good.
I think that was that Lucy one that we were looking up.
Oh, maybe it was Lucy. My favorite pre-workout of all time is green apple NO Explode.
That NO Explode.
It's so fizzy.
I loved it.
And then they put. I always get. You feel like you got seeds of like cayenne pepper
Mm-hmm.
in there. That
Yeah.
You just like through your workout, and all of a sudden you just like one got stuck in your tooth or something. You bite it. It's like hot.
It's like an extra jolt,
Yeah.
extra pre-workout jolt.
I was pretty new to pre-workout, and one time we were in high school probably. Oh yeah, obviously we were in high school. And we were at the athletic club, and you had the green apple NO Explode. It was sometime after school, and I was like, what is that? And you're like, here, try it. And that was when you were dry scooping it. You would do it over the fountain, over by the men's bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
You would take it, and then while it's still in your mouth, you would go under the water fountain and get some water in your mouth. And I'm like, oh, okay. I do this.
You didn't know that.
First of all, dry scooping is so intense to just do it, even if you're experienced in it.
And NO Explode scoops are huge.
It started fizzing so crazy, and I was like, it's gonna come out of my nose. Cough it up.
Did you spit it out?
No, I just like quickly like took it down, but it was starting to fizz out of my mouth.
Panicking.
It was
I do not
good.
understand the whole premise of dry scooping.
It's like quicker.
I get stomach aches from drinking the liquid.
Just from 8 ounces of water?
Yes.
See,
Because
I just chug
You
it.
get like gut rot, right?
Yes, because I want to drink it all before I work out.
Yeah.
So then I'm drinking it way too fast for what I can handle.
You can't drink 8 ounces of water in one.
I can drink 8 ounces of water, but if it's pre-workout, it'll give me gut rot.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I
So
like.
I only dry. I haven't taken pre-workout in, I don't know, a year probably, but I don't.
Yeah.
I only dry scoop.
It's been like 12 hours for me.
When I have
Yeah.
when I have the time, I like to have the dry, like the scoop, but then just take little bits of it,
Like
like it's
Fun
fun
Dip?
dip.
You have to put it in one of those big straws,
Yeah.
like a tube, like pixie stick.
I don't know if it's the same breakdown as like a pre-workout, but this one is a 200 milligram pouch.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
How
But I don't-
big is that pouch? Think of a
Whoa.
scoop of pre-workout.
Yeah, true.
There's 15 per container.
Rip off.
There's vitamin D, niacin, vitamin B6, folate, vitamin B12, sodium, chromium, and natural caffeine from green coffee beans.
We should try to make like pre-workout suckers.
Ooh, that would be cool.
You
Or
know,
gummies.
they do have like pre-workout like Tide Pods. That's what I was thinking of, like a pre-workout Tide Pod.
You drop in your
Oh.
drink? Oh,
So
that
it's like
freaks
a-
me out.
And then you could
Wait,
do
not Tide. Are you thinking Tide Pod or like Alka-Seltzer?
Tide Pod.
It's like a plastic wrap? I
What?
would never put that in my body.
So it dissolves?
Yeah.
Huh? I don't like that.
Nope.
But think how easy that would be. Like you have one shaker bottle. You could have your pre-workout and then rinse it out. You wouldn't have to rinse it out. Then put your protein powder Tide Pod in there.
Oh, no. All that plastic?
This is plastic.
Yeah, and look at what we got.
Do you see us drinking out of shaker bottles?
Yeah. We don't even do Tide Pods in our washer dryer.
I have
Or
been
washer. Why would
since
you
I've
put it in
been
the
here.
dryer? Or the dishwasher.
Yeah, true.
They do have pre-workout gummies. The gummies would not be that hard to make. You could make
No,
that at
probably
home.
not.
I see people on TikTok doing that with apple cider vinegar
Oh, sure.
because you just mix it with gelatin.
Yeah. But then do you want all that gelatin in your... You're turning into the fucking
Yeah,
slob thing from Monsters, Inc.
yeah.
Your body's going to turn gelatinous.
I think those people though don't care about it. Well,
No, probably not.
if you cared about your health, would you even be taking pre-workout?
Yeah, well, and I
it's
think that's
garbage.
also the you're really concerned about anything foreign that shouldn't be going in your body type of people versus like there's health people that it's like I take 25 vitamins and they're all in those plastic capsules,
Yeah, true.
plastic dissolvable capsules.
Yeah, there's probably no different between the Tide Pod things and the
The
vitamin capsules.
Yeah, what are those cellulose
I don't know.
capsules?
I'd
wanna
always
just
prefer-
pop 'em open.
I have done that.
You can buy empty capsules to make like
Really?
your own thing. Yeah,
Oh, that's weird.
on Amazon.
How freaking tedious would that be?
You just like you're putting turmeric in them, little turmeric,
Oh my
pouches.
gosh, that would be so
or
tedious.
salt.
Yeah,
That would be so tedious. I like powders anyways, way more than capsules.
I would rather do capsules. It's much easier, more convenient.
Unless
More
it
easier
tastes,
to travel.
unless it tastes real. See, that's why I don't think so. I think, well, I don't know. I guess it depends. Because I also have like 15 baggies of powder, so maybe that's not as easy. But
Yeah.
I think unless it tastes really funky, I like having the powders because then it makes me think like I'm having a different drink. 'Cause
Well,
if I
and
can mix the powders in with water.
you mix them in a lot of different things too. You'll put it in tea. You'll put it in your protein shake. You'll put it in
Yeah, like
this,
the creatine
that.
I put in my juice.
right. To where that works better at just being powders rather than the capsules.
Yeah, because I always have so many drinks.
But some people just want to let me just take the 5 pills and
Sure.
be done. Now I don't have to worry about. I'm surprised you haven't done the creatine capsules, and you do the powder.
Because I take creatine at the same time I take my pre-workout.
Oh,
So it's just a one and done
yeah.
type thing.
Yeah.
So you can buy clear capsules. They're gelatin capsules. These are vegan. 100 count package for $6.89.
Of
Or-
what? The pre-workout? Or the
How would
Empty
you?
capsules.
empty capsule?
How would you? Like you said, tedious.
How would you? Yeah, how would you? Man, you'd have to really.
A very very small funnel.
And how do you get them to close?
That's true. You could only load them up halfway then.
Yeah, you have to
And
leave
you got to be
some
really
room.
precise on your measurement.
Yeah, how
It's
much,
like-
I wonder how big these are.
Yeah. They're like a thumb size.
I bet they're not.
That seems way too crazy.
That does seem crazy.
I get if you have that many. No, I don't get. I would never do it. But
This answers your plastic question, though. Gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan, non-GMO, certified kosher, certified halal.
Yeah, but it's
That
also
doesn't answer.
keto too. It's like
how's
who gives a
plastic
shit?
keto?
Yeah.
Ingredients: vegetable, cellulose, 100% plant-based.
Yeah. Okay.
How is
Great.
it plant based? I mean, I guess maybe if it just looks like plastic, or it's like it's a type of material from plants that can
They're very loose.
materialize like plastic.
It's very loose terms of what's.
Plant based.
Yeah. I'm sure this is vegan, keto, plant-based, whatever too.
Yeah, my
But-
water bottle is also gluten free and keto. It's not.
Yeah.
Food material.
Well, right. It doesn't mean you should eat
Right.
that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no carbs in my Stanley cup.
Iron is vegan. You're gonna eat a bunch of stainless steel something. That's probably not even iron. I'm just.
So they have
Gonna eat the
different
doorknob?
sizes of these things. Volume capacity from 1.37 milliliters all the way down to 0.13 milliliters. So actually how you do it is you fill up one side, pack it. So it'd have to be something powdery, not like
Salt.
granularly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you turn upside down and pack it, fill up the other half, and then pack it, and then
Because it like slides over. One of them slides over the other.
yeah, it's like a sleeve.
But how
Yeah.
easily?
Huh?
How easily?
Well,
How
Yeah.
hard is it to get one of those undone? Hard.
it's like meal prepping, supplement prepping.
Holy,
Do it all at once and then. No way.
that's a different.
I'll just take the powder. I already got
yeah.
the powder.
Yeah.
The inconvenience of the powder, if there even is one for people.
Think about
No.
this for powder, though. How often you guys travel with creatine, with pre-workout? Have you ever been stopped by TSA?
Yes, every time.
Yes,
I have never been stopped.
Every time I've taken it, I get stopped.
that's not true. The last time on the way back, you didn't. On the way there, you did.
Oh,
on the
that's
way
true.
back, you didn't.
On the way
I
back,
got it.
didn't. Almost every time I'm stopped.
I have never been stopped, and I always take both pre-workout and creatine with me.
Weird. I wonder why you're not and I am.
I'm looking honest, I guess.
Yeah. I look like
I
a
don't look
sneaky
like a
rat.
terrorist.
There was one
You look like a drug dealer.
Yeah.
going with when Abby went to nationals once. So like she had a full like gallon size bag of protein powder because it was also like the huge scoops. So she had a big bag of the protein powder. She had multiple little bags, and that was also when she was working with that supplement company. So she had like bags on bags on bags of just random white powder.
Yeah.
And we're like, and they had to like pull it all out. She's like, this looks insane.
Yep.
Like, oh well, that's creatine, that's pre-workout, that's the whatever.
Yep.
And well, here's the thing though. I don't have it
Protein
just
powder?
in a clear baggie. I actually have the creatine package in a Ziploc bag,
Oh.
and then my pre-workout's in the actual canister. But still, I'm not the. I mean,
Yeah.
But
why wouldn't some
Why won't you check
guy
it?
doing drugs do that?
yeah,
Shit, they stuff it up their
right.
butt and let in balloons.
Yeah.
Like, oh, just put it in a a
You
regular
could just switch the packaging.
container. Yeah. Yeah. How do they not check that then? Yeah, it's hit or miss whether I get checked or not. Maybe it's because the volume, like if you have to have a lot, to where like you brought protein powder for both of us,
Yeah, it's in like a gallon bag almost.
so maybe the
I have like a pound of creatine that I just.
yeah,
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know, especially with creatine. That's
I was
So, like,
'cause I
white.
don't fly as much as you guys do though. Like
but
I
we
took
don't bring
I took a
much.
pocket knife that I forgot was in my backpack to Vegas on the plane.
That is crazy. I
Yeah.
don't know how that got through.
It was in Rockford,
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
Rockford
and
did.
coming back they caught it,
Oh, really?
so I had to throw it out. But
Oh, they just let you throw it out?
Yeah.
Weird.
well, they're like, you can't have this. I'm like, I just throw it out.
Hmm.
We were in
Yeah.
Las Vegas one time coming home, and my backpack was unzipped. So Toby goes to zip my backpack up. One of the security people from on the second floor, it's like an open mall area, sees it and she's flying down. Sir, can you know this person? I'm like, yeah, it's my brother. He's like, okay, I thought he was putting something in your backpack.
You should be like, no, I don't know this
Holy
guy.
crap.
Yeah, she was like right on us.
Which I suppose, I mean, slipping something into someone else's backpack,
Yeah.
then if they get through, then you just grab it from them. But if they get caught, it's not you getting caught.
Yeah, I mean, good on her for being so observant.
Holy shit, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why I don't ever get annoyed with the TSA people.
No.
It's like,
They're just doing their job.
I don't want somebody coming through with a pocket knife and getting on the plane.
No, I get
So,
mad
like-
at other people that are silly and being silly through TSA. I don't get mad at the TSA people. I get mad at the people because I'm like, yeah, I get why you're pissed.
Yeah,
This lady is,
people are dumb.
Yeah.
yes. And I give leeway to people that you can tell, like, they just have maybe never flown before or don't fly very often. That also each airport, the TSA does act like it's the same everywhere. It's
No.
not. Every TSA has somewhat different rules. You put it in different bins, and the suitcase goes in the bin, it doesn't go in a bin, and they always talk to you like, you're stupid, so you know this. I'm like, well, I was just in a different city, and it's different.
Yeah.
Or I was just at this airport, and you did it different last
last week.
Thursday. So I don't know.
But everybody knows, take your shoes off, take everything out of your pockets, take your belt off.
Where did we just come from? Houston, we didn't have to do any of that.
It's like, keep it on, keep it on.
Shoes stayed on, everything stayed in the bag. Only
Then
takes
what's
up
the
out your
point of
pockets.
having TSA pre-check
Because
anymore?
some places have the newer machines that
Oh,
they
this-
have huge bins. So you put everything in the bin. You put your suitcase in the bin.
Well, and we didn't go through the scanner one. We went through just the metal detector in Houston.
And you still got to keep your shoes on.
So it's
Well, that's
all
bullshit.
random.
It's
all random.
To where I want to go, can I just go through the metal detector every time? I don't want to go through the radiation machine. But then
Right.
if you ask for an opt-out, no, they pat you down. It's like, so why can I go through the metal detector and everything's fine in one place because your machine's broke or some shit? But this other time I have to get pat down. And they act like they've never patted anybody down. They're like, oh, okay, well, it might be a minute. We got to get somebody. It's like, you don't have people
Maybe only
ready to
certain
go
people are allowed.
to pat you down.
Yeah.
And
Could be.
it's very rare that people ask for that. So I understand if they're not like on hand or like
Yeah.
working that area. I get that. It's like we're being the ones that are being
Asking for more.
extra. Yeah, like we're not just doing the general what everyone's supposed to do kind of a thing. So I get that it takes a long time. That's why we only do it if the airport is calm and
Yeah.
nothing's. We really could do that more at our airport. The TSA line was longer than or not the TSA. The pre-check was longer than our line.
Yes.
See, that
It
pisses
always
me
is.
off then, because that's why I got TSA pre-check, was to not have to take shoes off, take belt, take everything out of your pockets.
But
This is
that's
just
not
the
every
one.
airport. Most or some airports, they will have you take everything off.
Yeah.
Like
This-
one of the
this-
airports had you take your sweatshirt off.
Right. One had to take sweatshirt off. The next one didn't.
I've seen that where you just get down to one layer of clothing.
For some people, they're like, keep your hat on. I don't care.
So there
It's
are
so
no-
different
yeah.
depending on what machines they have, what they care about that day. Are they busy and are they just trying to push people through?
I don't like the people that they know that they're not a threat, or they think that they're not a threat, so they get upset with TSA over all of the little things. It's like, well, they don't know that you're not a threat.
And by
So
you
that-
acting this
why
crazy,
do I have to take, this out of my bag? This is stupid. Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? I'm not going to do anything. It's like, well, they don't know that.
And that's what a terrorist would say.
Exactly.
yeah, and by how crazy you're acting, I don't know. You
Right.
don't seem
Mentally
that
stable.
Yeah, it's like you gotta do seem pretty threatening.
Yeah.
Because you're acting crazy right now.
Yeah.
Because you're mad because you didn't get here early enough.
So you don't want us to check extra terrorists? Like, check extra on those people?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm not the terrorist.
Rules
Well,
for thee, not for me.
Yes, exactly.
Here's the other thing, though, with TSA pre-check. Once I get through line, I get in line with everybody else that's not TSA pre-check. Do they just assume because I have my shoes on that I have TSA pre-check as they're waving me through the metal detector? They're not looking at my ticket.
Oh, wait, what?
So they never
That's not a
confirm that you
separate-
have TSH pre-check?
When you first get up to where they put your phone down with your boarding pass and then you look at your ID,
That would show.
it's on the boarding pass.
Okay.
It's just a check. But nobody checks it after that.
Why are you just going in the regular line?
You don't. You get in the TSA pre-check line, but then you filter in with everybody else that's not TSA pre-check a lot of times.
Oh, I've always seen it as like it's a completely separate line.
Well, at least ours here is a separate line.
Yes.
At most places,
I don't think
because they have like
O'Hare-
because that's why it goes quicker for them.
O'Hara's not. No, the line getting to the guy that scanned.
Yeah, that's separate, but also going through the whole metal
At
detector, all that is
O'Hare-
separate.
At O'Hara, you mingle in with everybody else then.
Oh, I have not seen that.
Because that was one of the reasons where I wanted to get TSA pre-check, because I figure those people travel more frequently. They know what they're doing when you're not sitting there with the
quicker.
lady and the guy
Yeah,
getting their kid out at the very last second trying to fold up a stroller they've never folded up before.
Yeah.
At least
such
that's
a
what it
specific
seems.
scenario that's
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Every freaking time I get behind like the first time travelers. Whereas
Yep.
these old people who it's like, do you get everything out of your pockets? Yep. Walk through. Oh, change? What?
What's change gonna do?
Yeah.
There was an older guy that was behind us, and he got like his bag got pulled, and he didn't know that he couldn't have his. I think it was I'm guessing it was some sort of like sleep apnea machine, so he didn't think about that as a electronic. So that came whatever. I could see that being kind of confusing, but he, in his like top part of his suitcase, he had probably like 15 to 20 pill bottles, like medications.
Damn.
And like prescription, like in the orange ones. I was like, man, could you imagine if that, like, what all do you have wrong, guy? This is crazy. That is
Yeah.
so many things.
Well, and they probably didn't check any of those either.
No. Well, because he's like, is it because of my pharmacy in my bag?
Yeah.
And ended up being a sleep pep machine, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a pain in the ass for, like, especially if I travel, I've got my phone, I've got my battery pack, I've
your
got
computer.
and cords for everything.
All your dildos.
Dildos. Well, those aren't electric though.
Oh, you're old school.
Old school.
That's a vibrator you're thinking of.
Oh, yeah. Okay, expert. Sorry.
So how many things and then aren't you supposed to pull out your 3 ounce or less bag too?
That's not a thing anymore.
Okay.
I don't. At least it hasn't been.
3 ounce of what?
Like your toiletries?
Like when we used to
Oh,
have to
yeah.
travel as kids, like you'd have to have like all of your toiletries in a plastic, like gallon-sized bag,
Because
Like
they're
clear.
liquid?
Because they're
Liquids, gels,
liquid.
or aerosols.
Yeah, and it had to be
Oh.
like visible. So 3 ounces or less, and then also in a bag containing everything together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I don't know. I've always had the Diddy bag, so maybe that's why, is because they're all contained together still. But I don't know.
I just
I don't think that's a
like,
thing anymore.
what does my backpack look like going through the X-ray machine?
You've never looked at the screen?
I have, but I was just like, I would totally think that would be bomb shit in there. Like you got like a
Oh,
cords
yeah.
wrapped around electronic devices.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
With my pre-workout and all my toiletries. Well, actually, my pre-workout goes in my suitcase. But like my
Still.
toiletries, I put, since they lost my luggage that time here,
Oh, you keep it
I
on,
put
you know.
it in my carry-on now.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, I know. I would like to know how many flights I have been on in the last half a decade, and it's like I still feel like I am so fumbly going through security.
Yeah, because
I'm
they're
like,
all
figure
different.
it out.
They're all different.
But it's not even that. It's like I don't have a good. Maybe it's just like my bags. I don't have a good system of like take it down to even when you have to go up to the people. I have my fanny pack and I have my ID, but my ID is in my little zipper wallet, which is in my which is in my fanny pack, and then I also have my phone. And it just always feels like I'm getting up there and it's hard to unzip things and I don't want things to fall out. And then I'm having my suitcase in my one hand. Like it just doesn't seem like I'm smooth with it.
That's
Yeah.
because I think it's anxiety producing. Because you're waiting in line, waiting in
And I'm
line.
like,
Also,
my
it's
turn.
like, go, 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 go.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then, you know, it's like, the people are behind you and they're putting their things on. You're like, oh shit, I got to take my shoes off.
And then I think, how many buckets do I need? And then by the time I get the buckets out, I always put I always get 3, and then I put them on the thing. Well, there's not normally room to go 1, 2, 3 and
Yes.
open
Right.
them up. So then as I am waiting, and then I might move it down a little bit to get it the next one in, but then that person is just holding their stuff, looking at me like, hurry up. And then I feel bad for putting 3 things down, even though I'm gonna have
You
to
have
put them
to.
all out.
Yeah. You're going to get yelled at.
It's not like
Or
you're
not yelled at, but
you're paying for.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I always. So my ticket's on my phone, so that goes in the top little thing in my suitcase. If I have a belt on, that goes in as before I even get up to. Everything comes out of
Sure.
my pocket before I get to the guy scanning your phone. And
But then your
ID.
phone has to also come back out.
Yes, phone goes out, gets put in my suitcase, driver's license in the suitcase, or I just hold it in my hand.
I can't do that because I did that once and I forgot about my license being in there.
Oh, see, right after I'm done with going through the TSA, then I get everything back out. So
Okay.
I know I'm getting everything
Okay.
out.
Do you remember that once? It was on my way back that I did that. And I was like, this is genius. I'm going to do this every time. Forgot that my ID was in there, never took it back out. Then it was like a 6 a.m. flight. You dropped me off at LAX and we are pulling up and you're like, do you have your ID and your phone and everything? And I'm like, oh, nope, I don't.
Mm.
Thank God it was the same suitcase that I was using. So it was in there. But I was like,
It was in there all week?
yes,
Oh my God.
yes, yes.
This is probably why people just check a bag and they walk through hands free.
It is
Yes.
so much nicer. Check a bag.
They
Yeah.
check a bag and then they just have their fanny pack on them or just like a computer bag or something.
I always get screwed, though, when I don't check a bag. Because I've tried to play the system like, oh, I'll just wait till I get there. And they're always like, if you want to check a bag, bring it up free of charge.
Yep.
But then it's like, yeah, then you run the risk of it not showing up on the plane, it
Right.
not arriving in Fort Myers when you get here.
Which-
You got to go to Walmart and buy clothes.
That I'm not as worried about because when you check it at the gate, they're typically checking, like they're probably going right from the walkway to the plane.
But that just happened to us with your bag, where that was the case, and the bag did not come here.
Are you sure?
Yeah, remember
I
at-
didn't
at
check it.
At Fort Myers, we went into the thing to get the bag, like to see if the bag came, and she said no. It was
And it wasn't my checked
It
bag?
was your red bag. No.
Oh, okay.
And
I don't
my
know.
carry-on bag is probably too big to be a carry-on bag. So I always kind of like right next to my leg and just act
Yeah.
like, it's like, I do this all the time. It fits.
Yeah.
To where then if they check it, then they're looking at it more and then they might go, you should have been paying for this. And they might charge you
At
then.
that point, though, they're typically like, let's just get going. We got to get
Yeah,
this plane
true.
loaded.
True.
I try to scam the odds a little bit,
Yeah.
but
That's why I like my bags now because it's just a backpack. I
it
can
doesn't
be
have
basically
wheels.
hand free. Yeah, but it's just on my back. I don't have to. I don't have to have one hand pushing my bag around everywhere. It's all on my back. So now I have two hands to be able to do whatever with. Grab
Help
my
me.
phone, grab my ID.
Tell me when I'm fumbling around getting on the plane. It's
Yeah.
just, it's like, how do I not figure it out?
What do
Like,
you
I am
use
so
for your
fumbling.
personal bag then?
I don't have one.
Oh, see, I couldn't do that.
It all fits in the my computer bag just fits in my backpack.
So then, are you that guy that before you put your bag up in the overhead, you gotta like unzip it, get everything out that I want to
No.
have for the flight?
I do that at the gate. I unzip it. I have my computer bag in my hand,
Okay.
and then I just throw my backpack up and.
And sometimes you really don't even have your computer.
No, sometimes I'm like, I just won't.
Like, you just
Do
grab
that.
your book up.
That's
last time.
very recently, but yeah.
Because even before, it was just the headphones.
Yeah.
Really? Cause,
Well, if they have
yeah,
the
if that's the thing, yeah.
TV things on the plane
You don't use your phone or your computer?
to watch stuff.
Yeah.
If they don't have the screens, I'll use the laptop.
Okay.
But if they have the screens, I just use the screen.
I
watch a
can't think
movie.
of I can't think of a flight I was on that had screens recently.
Really?
It seems. I
You
would
guys
say it
fly
seems
Delta
less.
a lot though. Those are nice.
Delta has free Wi-Fi now.
Really?
That's new this year. But yeah.
I feel like we fly United the most.
Yeah.
It's
And then it was American out of Austin the most.
yes.
That's what I look for is American United only.
If we have a West Coast one, I feel like it's Delta because we connect in Atlanta a lot.
Because that's their hub.
Yeah. But most of the time it's United.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder
Flying.
how. I mean, just rough estimate. How many flights? Maybe like
Well, I mean,
over 20 a year.
yeah. I mean, it's typically 13 events. So you times that by 2 because you got to go there and back. That's at least 26 right there.
And not including going home or whatever.
Right.
But let's just say don't even take that in. Which
2 or 3.
it happens every
you're
year. So yes.
probably at
30.
Probably at 30 because there's also some events where we connect. So then you're getting on another
sure.
flight.
Yeah. So,
And
but
don't forget
30
about-
times going through security.
Marketing trips
Still
or
can't figure it out.
I think like you said, it's a anxiety inducing. It's go at the last second, and it's not easy to have to get 4 or 5 items out of your bag, and
Yeah.
then go through security and remember your phone and ID. You have to get that out first to get through, and then you have to get all the other shit out, and then you have to put it all back in. Because
Yeah.
we'll walk up to get onto the plane, and this happened last weekend where she's like, "Oh, you're gonna need to consolidate bags," because she has a fanny pack on her.
Which,
Over
and that
her
was dumb on
shoulder.
me. I know better than
But
that.
it's also so stupid.
I just
like,
forgot about that.
you can only have one personal item, and you have a bag for that. But then they're like, "Oh, you have to put the fanny pack in. That's considered a personal item." It's like it's literally on my body. Like I can sit down and buckle in with this. How is this a personal item?
Well, and I thought I was being smart because I had my computer bag out. So I was like, great. Now when I sit down, I want to shuffle it out of my bag. I'll have it in my hands. And I mean, it's not a bag. It's a case.
Yeah, it's a computer case.
It's a computer case with a handle on it.
it's a personal item.
So, well, that's true. I'm thinking that's a bag, personal bag. So I'm like, okay, well, I have my computer case, not thinking that counts as a bag, and I put the fanny pack around me. Now I don't have to be like carrying it. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
boom, got it. She's like, you have 3 bags.
The fanny pack thing,
Okay.
I think, is a little nitpicky, but
Does a purse count as a personal item then?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I would have to have that in my bag
mhm.
if I had that.
Mm. Yeah, and I think It is anxiety inducing, and the thing that pisses me off is when people don't have that. I gotta move. I gotta move.
Sense
I gotta
of
move.
urgency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they're just taking their sweet old time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel
And
like
it
then
doesn't
they're
matter.
holding me up.
It doesn't matter if you show up 3 hours before or an hour before. It's like, I don't want to be standing in line going through this process for 10 hours. Can you?
Well, because the TSA people are always like, hurry up. They're
Well,
looking
yeah.
at you like, you gotta get your shoes off?
Yeah.
And it's like a quiz. Of like, did you hear my announcement of where you put it? Are they on the carousel or are they in the bin?
Yeah.
I'm just like looking like,
Yeah.
as soon as I do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But nothing makes me more mad than lining up. We talk about this every single time we get to this part of our job. Like this part of the season where we're at airports a lot. We always bring this up because it gets
Always
annoying
talk about
every single year.
flights. Yeah.
But people that line up so many more groups before their boarding group.
Yep.
Because I'm like, are you in line or are you not in line?
Yeah.
You're just standing around for what? Or the people that when you go through security and their bag, they're just waiting for the bag. Well, I was 5 people in front of you. Why are you right at the edge of the bags coming out? There are so many people in front of you. Like your bag is not the next one to come out.
Yeah.
Back up.
Yeah.
This should be like you came out first,
Get in
then you line
line.
up. You came out first, then you line up. And also everyone just be back.
Well, it's just mindful of space. Happens at the grocery stores, happens
Yes.
everywhere. People are just not mindful of space.
Yeah. That you're right though. That those people that try to, they're group 6, but group 3 is being called, and they're standing up. You know.
Yeah.
Because then you're waiting behind them. Because I don't want to go to every person. Are you group 3? Are you group 3? Are you group 3?
Yeah.
So then you miss your group. Because I'm like, oh, I thought you were in line. Oh, no. You're 7 rows from now. Or you're
Yeah.
7 groups from now. You're not even on this flight. You're waiting for your next flight.
And when you're walking through the terminal and all those people are out there, you got to pay paintball
Yeah.
to get through because they're taking up the whole concourse, just standing around.
That's what I don't get. We were taught like in school. It's like driving. You walk on the right side.
Yeah.
The people that
Yes.
are
So in the
walking
hallways.
on the left side, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Those are the same people that drive in the left lane their whole trip to where they're going.
I also think there needs to be a quickness of like also where the lanes are. If you are walking through the airport, if you don't want to go fast, go on the way outside.
Yeah.
But middle lanes, like I don't care if you're there 3 hours before the flight, you walk fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's going to be someone behind you that's trying to catch the flight that they're trying to weave in and out, or just trying to get to the gate fast.
Yeah.
It's like everything is fast paced here. Otherwise, like get to somewhere on the edge where you're not going to be in anyone's way. Like
Well,
you merge, it's speed lane.
and the people that just stop in the
I
middle
was
of
just
the...
going to bring that up. Yes. They just stop right in the middle of the concourse.
And they go, wait, let me check my phone. Wait,
Yeah.
what gate is it at?
What do I want to eat?
And those people are the same ones that are walking through the airport with a speaker on their phone having a phone conversation.
Yep.
Or they're on their phone. Just like leisurely
like-
watching their phone while they're walking. It's
Yeah.
like, get to the outside.
Yeah. See, people dumb.
People
are
will
dumb.
be peopling. It's like what we say with the going to the grocery store. Anytime you get a bunch of people together, it's gonna be bad
Yeah. It's glaring.
because people just don't know how to be, and then you get them all together in a stressful or anxiety-inducing situation of flying and traveling, and they're trying to understand where they're going, and all that is
well,
can
and
be
again,
a lot.
it only takes a couple to be like, what the fuck is going on? It's
Yeah,
like
I
most
lose my patience. in a
most
hurry.
people are probably fine. They're going great. Everything's cool. But it's just like all of a sudden one person here and you're like, okay. And you go around them and then it's another person and another. You end up coming across 3 people that are dumb when there's hundreds, if not thousands of people in there that are fine. But those 3 people will just be like, what is going on?
Have you ever been in with like traveling with a group, and they're the people? Like
I used to
don't
always
think
think
so.
that when I would fly with you and Kara.
you're just like apologizing, like I'm sorry, they suck so
No,
bad.
I was just
They're
like,
just
come on,
walking
let's
where
go. Come on.
You're like
people
beating
hate
it.
you already, even if you don't mess up. So come on,
Yeah.
people are looking at you to mess up. That I've done that with like the work trips where I'm just happen to be traveling with people, and I'm with the group that are like, they just stop in the middle of the lane. And I'm like, oh no, I'm a part of the problem by proxy. And I'm like, but I don't want to tell 5 people, like, guys, like, people hate us. Like, we have to keep walking, or like, we can't just stop.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm a part of the
You
problem.
should. You should be
I'm
like,
part of the
people hate
problem.
us. Let's get out of the way.
You just like walk away,
Yeah.
walk over to the side until they're ready to walk again.
I have done that, like, one of the first times walking to the airport with Abby. She, like, stopped for a second because we were trying to figure out where we were at for food. And I remember, like, grabbing her and pulling. I was like, we are not going to be these people. Like, I will not walk with you if we're going to be this.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, yeah, I normally would not do that. I don't know why I did that. I was like, I will not walk. I will go to my gate right now and leave you here. I cannot do that.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, especially with when I've been a part of the group, of course, it's
Traveling's so
Well,
much fun.
And group people, like, you get into a group,
you think you can do whatever you want.
you think there's some sort of like importance all of a sudden. We're a group, so now we can stand in the middle, or we can huddle at the terminal.
Yeah, because you're not singled out then. You're
Yeah.
part of a group instead of that one person.
Yeah.
Yeah. The power in numbers. Speaking
big
of
problem.
books, I hate to be this person, but I'm reading the Dune book. It's better than the movie.
Never seen it.
And I watched the movie first. But the books, they're just better.
100%.
Books
Because
are
you said,
better.
like, they can go so much more in detail. Well, and what I kind of described with my books, like, there's so much nuance that when you're watching it, unless they, like, really spell it out for you, you almost have to just, like, pick up on it, to where in the book, they'll be like, and he's, like,
He's
he
feeling this
smiled
way.
with amusement.
Right.
Yeah.
Not just like, oh, I'm supposed to understand that smile means he's amused.
Yeah.
From the
Yeah.
show or the movie.
You
Like,
get the
it's dummies it down for you.
you get the context of what the character is feeling and thinking in those moments, and every single character in that scene and what's going on, to where the movies, they just can't portray it as well.
Right. Well, and in a book, they have to spell it out because you can't see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of interesting too, from what we talked about a couple days ago, of how much with your training, like how what was it, like 80%
Nonverbal.
nonverbal communication,
85% of communication.
85% is nonverbal. So now, when as a society with phones and devices, where we're numbed to that, which you can see so much with kids, it's like they don't understand human behavior at all anymore. Like, they can't tell body language.
Thanks, COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, really. Now that we are worse at that as society, and then you take a movie, it's like, how much are we just not picking up on? Because we
Oh, yeah.
can't see the verbal, we can't see the nonverbal cues.
Yeah.
To where in a book, it's telling you these are the cues that you need to pay attention to, or this is what is happening. Like you said, how they're feeling, but
Yeah.
it's down to the nuance.
Well, and I think movies and TV shows now too, like, the people are just trying to pump out content so much or so quickly that's like they kind of take shortcuts with that stuff. I feel like there isn't a whole lot of context built. It's like it just is, this happened and then this happened and then this happened and then this happened. There's no like development of this is how they were feeling in the beginning to now where they feel this way, and that's why they made this decision, and now it's made these chain of events happened. There's just, I don't think there's that sort of specificness
Yeah,
being made,
details.
because they're
Well,
just
you
like,
can't get through a book in 2 hours like you can a movie.
right, yeah, and even some of that, like even reading that book versus the movie, it's not that they're like cutting out scenes necessarily. They may have a little bit, but there's just not the complexity of each scene that
Yeah.
the movie is able to show, or they're not trying to show, versus what the book can do.
Yeah. Yeah, books are way better.
Yeah, but like you said, they just take longer. It's more effort. It's something you have to be doing, to where movies, you just have to sit there and watch.
Right.
Like it's all being processed like to you, rather than you having to process it by reading it. So it's just more work to read, but it's better.
Books, I think, are just as easy to binge, though, if you have the time, as like shows.
And you're into it.
Because
yeah,
it's the next page. Well, I'll do one more page. Well, I'll do one
Yeah.
more page.
I
It's like
only
it's
stop
quick.
at the end of a chapter.
You always stop at the end of the chapter?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah,
Mhm.
I
I'll do
can't
whatever.
stop in the middle. I have to have like that completion.
Yeah.
Because then the next chapter typically sets up a whole nother scene or a whole nother.
If I don't stop at the end of the chapter, if I come back to the book, I have to go back like a page just so I could kind of get back into the
Sure.
previously on.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You have to set
Exactly.
up your own previously. Yeah, I read so randomly that I don't think I could do that. Because it's like, well, I have 10 pages left. I don't have time to read 10 pages.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, especially if I'm really into a book, like, I'll get, I have 2 minutes before my thing in the microwave is done. I'm going to read a page.
Oh, see, that's where I
Or,
would
like,
stop.
I'll stop mid-page.
I'm like, what do I have to do within the next however much time? Do I have enough time to finish a chapter?
Yeah.
Got it.
Otherwise,
Got
I'm
it.
ending right now. The end of this chapter.
Yeah.
Are you like that with TV shows too? Or a movie?
You know, I feel like we've changed on that. It used to be we have to like finish that episode or finish that movie, but we've gotten so diligent on going to bed at the same time. That's like, oh, it's 10:30. Like, we'll cut this episode, or not cut it short, but like we'll stop this episode right here, halfway through or with 20 minutes left, and then we'll.
See, for me,
pick
it's
it up.
typically I fall asleep, and that pisses me off because if you're watching something on like Netflix, it just plays the next episode. So you come back the next day, you're like, oh shit, I don't know where.
Yeah.
Where you were.
Yeah,
I
because
wonder
they
if,
all showed viewed already.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
if they don't, they should put a setting in there where it doesn't autoplay. Because then you'd be able to just change the setting, so then it doesn't
Yeah.
go to each next one. It stops. Because I thought they used to have a setting at least where it would go like, remember it would show up like continue watching or quit.
Now I think
After
it's
a
like after
couple.
like 4 hours.
Okay.
If you don't hit skip to the next episode.
Gotcha. But yeah, 4 hours, your 4 episodes gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be a setting where like it makes you click the next one.
Well, even if you don't click next episode, then just do you want to continue?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe there is a setting and I just don't know.
There
about
might
it.
be. Could look it up and see.
Yeah, you're right, though. We don't do that as much. The
Not
having to finish it.
anymore.
Which I like that because then we're able to watch still, like, whatever show we're watching. I like that. I don't know if I already brought that up. I like that you did that at Christmas.
Did what?
Went around and asked what everyone was watching.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
I feel like people actually got kind of into that.
I was
Yeah.
just filling time.
Yeah, but I feel like people like that. And what did Archie say? One of them was just like a fishing show or something.
Yeah.
It's like no one knows what you're talking about.
Yeah. You did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that. It seemed like Grandma kind of got into it. Like anytime she answered, she like smiled, like I kind of like talking
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
so that
that's
was
a good-
cool. Someone was asking her anything.
Gives you an insight too of like, oh, what do you watch? Oh, what kind of things are you into?
Yeah, because somebody. I'm not gonna bring it up.
Well, yes, because there was
Somebody
someone,
said something dumb.
there was someone that said something, and I was like, of course you'd watch that.
Yeah. Yes.
Or someone in your house watches that, and you by default watch that.
Well, that's like on the events. So many of them watch like Love on the Spectrum or like Love is Blind and all that. I'm like, I know what type of person you are. I don't need to pursue any
Well,
further.
yeah, I was talking to Alex about that. Who she's 20, just turned 24, but she is like went to school, only has girl roommates. Like is very much has friends. Like she hasn't been in a relationship. Well, she is now, but also with a girl. So it's still like there's more girls. That like when we stayed in Seattle with her and another coworker at an Airbnb and like what we all wanted to watch for movies, I'm like, oh, I am so conditioned to living with a boy. I'm like all like shoot 'em up, action packed movies, like stuff that we could find both entertaining, to where they're like all like romantic comedies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I would never even suggest that movie back
Yeah.
home. Like, I don't even know if I would like those anymore because I'm conditioned to not like them, but I would never even suggest that, to where when you're choosing a movie with your roommates, that's what you guys are watching.
Yeah.
Like, your activities are so girl based that I'm like, I don't even understand that world.
Well,
Like,
it's not
we don't hang out with friends. So I'm like, I don't know what girls my age are doing or are interested in or like the podcast that they
Yeah.
listen to. Like, I've never heard of that.
they're not even in the same algorithms.
No.
Like our
No.
stuff would not show up on theirs. Their stuff would not show up on ours.
Yeah, that's like I'm not in
You didn't
that
even know
world.
they existed.
No, and she had her birthday party, and I was like, well, what are you gonna do? and it was just a bunch of her friends, and they were gonna do like games, like everyone bring a game. And I'm like, the games that you guys are playing, I have never heard of, or I have no idea. Like, I would never do that. That just is not my world. I'm not gonna hang out with friends. But
You're not a game person.
no, I was like, we went from being in high school to also living with each other. So then it's also like you're having to cohabitate with, like, again, shoot 'em up, action packed movies. I got to find something that we're both gonna like. And our friends is hanging out with family. So we're hanging out with people that are adults and have kids. And
Yeah. Even when you were at home, though, I mean, you didn't watch a lot of TV, but you were listening to Mind Pump and watching Mind Pump, which that's not a chick thing.
no, yeah. Well, because I also had friends. Had friends that, okay, well, they're into working out and whatever.
Yeah, but they weren't even around.
Well, sure, my general interests, yeah, I guess are not as girly as some people, but
See,
because I'm not
I
like
did raise a tomboy, Chaney.
I'm not like hanging out with those types of girls either.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a,
What do you think of the Connor Stallions documentary? The whole Michigan football controversy. Sign stealer.
He got called out, and I think it probably happens with every team.
Yeah.
He just got caught.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think it's probably one of those things where it just happened to be him that it brought to light something that happens all the time, that it seems like it's a scandal and they cheated, and it's like, well, everyone's doing that. It's like in sport, like some sports with everyone doing performance enhancers. It's like if everyone's doing it, it's not that crazy. It's just when the one person gets caught and that sheds light to the general population that that's a thing.
Yeah.
Then it's like, well, that guy is terrible. It's like, well, everyone's doing it though.
Yeah, which is funny because like what the story was showing is there's sign stealing that happens in games and outside of games for football, and it's totally legal under certain circumstances, but you can't have people go to other games and film directly. You can only get that from the TV footage of games.
Right.
That is legal to sign steal. You can sign steal at the games, and that's legal too. But what he seemed to have gotten caught for, but they haven't, it sounds like they haven't finished the investigation yet. He was paying people to go to other games to film and get signs. And then they make him out to be this like genius to where I don't know.
He works very hard.
I think he
and is
just
very
works hard.
particular.
I think when his dad
smarter
said
than the
he's
average person.
kind of a Rain Man,
Yes.
I can see that.
A little bit of some
Well, I think
Spectrum.
he's
autism in
like
there.
like you said, he works really hard. He probably went above and beyond with the sign stealing thing than what everybody else does. Like he makes a whole database and charts and like makes his own sign moves so that his team doesn't get caught and it's more difficult to figure out. And like he took this one little thing where Michigan didn't even sound like they had a sign stealing person and
That
were
he knew of.
behind the curve. And then he goes in and starts doing it and then just took it to an extreme.
To where they were making it sound like even the going to other games and filming, that was even pretty common for people to do that. It's just this underground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, because he's such a Michigan fan, diehard from birth,
Crazy
did
amount.
Michigan actually have somebody doing that? And he didn't want to tarnish Michigan's name. And just like I was the original one, or maybe it was a little bit of patting yourself on the back.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what the documentaries, like they only give you so much info and context and stuff like that. Well, and there's the one Washington Post guy that they kept bringing up. And it turns out he went to school with somebody from Ohio State, Michigan's rival.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, so you work for a news organization and you went to school at Ohio State with the current head coach.
He didn't know he was at Ohio State at the same time. He said, I guess we went to Ohio State in the same years.
Yeah. And
He didn't know who he was.
And if it was me, I would say the same thing,
Yeah, true.
even though I'm best friends with him.
Yeah.
But it's like, really, we're supposed to listen to the Washington Post guy who went to Ohio State
Who
over
they
the
talk
scandal
about
over Michigan?
The whole time is like their biggest, craziest rival.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I
I don't
also-
believe anybody in this.
You also get the vibe from that guy, or at least I did. You get the vibe from that guy of the reporter, the white guy with the glasses, not the one that ended up being friends
Yes.
with the guy. Of like, oh, you were the nerdy kid that is so not in this world and you think it's stupid. So now that you have a chance to turn shit and talk bad about it, you're
Right.
going to like, yeah, and they're doing this stupid thing because he just thinks the whole world is dumb because he's
Yeah.
not in it.
Yes.
Because it's football.
Right.
It's something silly to him.
But I think the one thing I just don't like about all of these documentaries that are coming out or that have been coming out since, well, I guess I don't know if they've always been coming out, that we just are watching them more. It seems like they're giving so much of the behind the scenes with sports that it's taking, and whether it's like I want to be naive to it, because I'm sure all the stuff has been happening all the time and it always has, but it makes it seem like, oh, sports aren't as pure as I like to think that they are.
That's how they make it seem. And they kept doing that with this too, of like that this guy stealing signs is the reason Michigan was doing
Yes.
so well and going to a national championship. I mean, they were outlining that before he started doing it full time or whatever, like Michigan sucked. And it's even the clips they're showing, it's showing Michigan's like 10-1.
Yeah.
And they're like, they're just not having that great of a season. Like these last few years haven't been great. And then Connor Stallions comes and they're all great. It's like, no, they're like going
They're
to the
treating
Big
it
Ten
like that he went to
championship.
the Bears.
Like the what?
The Bears.
Yeah.
Like a
they're
team that's been
terrible.
like terrible for forever. And
Yeah,
now this guy's
And it's like,
changing.
no, they've been great. They just haven't beat Ohio State. And that's how you're saying they're having a failed season.
Right.
Which
Exactly.
is so stupid. It's like, go look at the Badgers. Like they have sign stealers and they're 6-6 every year.
Yeah.
You're talking about Michigan that's at the top of the Big Ten every single season, but they're just not that great and whatever. But then Connor Stallions comes and they all of a sudden start doing good. It's like, no, they've been doing good the entire time.
That's the slant that they put on it. But I also think when you've got a good football program, it was me with the Packers this year. They played all right, but I was banging on them every week because it's just you become set or used to a standard.
Yeah.
So, if they lose a game or they're behind, have to come back and win because some kicker from Chicago doinks a field goal, it's like, we played like shit. We just got lucky.
Yeah. Well,
So-
and it's one of my cousins is a big Ohio State fan. And after they lost to Michigan this year, he was like, we need to fire their coach. We need to get rid of him. He can't do it. He's not good. They just won the national championship.
Yeah.
And I messaged him. I'm like, are you going to stop bitching about your head coach now? It's like, I would lose to Michigan every single year if it meant that I win the national championship,
Hell yeah.
which is exactly what happened this year. But that rivalry is so intense that's like, if you don't beat them, the head coach needs to be gone, even though that could be your only loss of the year. And it's like, this is so stupid. You could be winning national championships, but you're still pissed because you can't beat your rival. Like your sense of like, I don't know, reward is so off.
Yeah. But I think even in the documentary, them talking about how there's this whole underground group of people that trade these videos or trade signals or trade that knowledge. It's like, I don't even want to know that exists. Like, I want to still be in the, not my naive world of like, sports are just the last pure thing out there.
Well, but it's like you said in the documentary, it still comes down to execution. You can have all the information in the world. If you don't have the players that can execute what you're putting together,
True.
you're going to lose. It's not going to matter.
Right.
True. Yeah.
Which even that, they talked about.
But then you have also like the crazy refs that are maybe pulling weird things on the plays that are good and fine with good athletes, but then they're like,
which is a big
tweaking the
conspiracy
system.
this year with the Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Everybody's
it really?
everybody's going like the refs are just letting the Chiefs win or getting it so the Chiefs win, so they go to North because of the money and the
You see like
Whatever.
memes of a ref and he's got like a Chiefs emblem on his shirt,
Yeah.
on his striped
Yeah.
shirt, or hugging Mahomes.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But even that, like they do they Connor Stallions comes in and all of a sudden they beat Ohio State. And they're like kind of trying to attribute it or slant it towards he's the reason they're beating Ohio State now. And it's like they beat him by 6 points.
Right.
Like, what are you talking? And it was like a last second interception to seal
Yeah,
the game.
it was.
So it's like, this is not this guy is this mastermind winning all these games
No.
for Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's like, oh, he's terrible and they cheated. I don't. It makes it sound like everyone's doing it. So he was just the one that got really good at it to be noticed.
And got a little probably too lax, a little too loose, and got caught.
Well, it's like the one guy talking about it. Like, he is very intelligent enough to pick up the signals quickly, create this whole system for himself, but then he has his Venmo in public. So everyone can see that he's sending money to these people that are usually getting in trouble for this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so he's dumb with like the common sense street smart.
Yeah.
You know what
Stuff.
else they didn't
Covering his tracks.
ever
Yeah.
address is how he just walks in and gets a job
Twice.
twice.
Yeah,
And
that
how
Is that
did-
world just that easy?
And here's another one. How did the NCAA start looking at him?
well, that's what they were alluding to with the Ohio State thing, is they think Ohio State,
Sold him out.
Tipped off the NCAA.
yeah,
Or
which is
like, and hacked his phone and computer.
yeah.
Oh,
Which-
that's right.
Which would also be illegal.
That's right.
Which it's like, of course you'd point to Ohio State. You're Michigan.
Yeah.
But of course
Silly
it
football
would be
stuff.
Ohio State at the same time. Like, why
Correct.
wouldn't it be them? Yeah, that whole thing is, I think it's blown out of proportion because I don't think these guys are that important to the success of the team. There's some importance. That's why everybody has one of them. Like they're saying, they sign sealers. Like that. I don't even think he's that prolific at picking up the signs. Every team has a person, and they're probably all doing that and able to do that.
Yeah.
But, and that quickly. But it's just, this is the guy that got caught. And I'm sure there's
They'll
20
just
other
have an
guys.
autistic guy on the sidelines.
Yeah.
They're on.
I'm sure there's 20 other guys in the NCAA that's like, oh, my database is way more complex than this guy's.
Right.
But I'm not getting caught because I'm not an idiot. Just putting all my paying people on Venmo and all this other shit.
Because didn't they go back and saw that he bought tickets?
Yeah, he bought.
He bought the tickets. Why wouldn't you just like, hey, here's $50?
Right, because you have more street smarts.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, don't go buy the tickets in your name
Yeah.
on your credit card and then sell it on Venmo.
Yeah.
You know what would be even better if he was making money off selling tickets?
Well, that's what he tried to say.
That he would resell
That
them.
he'd resell them, and he's like, it's a little side business. And it's like, no, you're not. And he's like, I buy the tickets for like $100 and give them to the person, make it. And then they're like, this guy bought on the 50-yard line, 3 rows up, every single ticket.
Yeah.
And you
Like-
only sold them to your friend and your mom.
Yeah, like these are not $100 tickets. These are way more than $100. So
And it never mentioned his love of college football. It was his love of Michigan football.
Yeah.
So why would you be going to games in Boise State game?
yeah,
You know?
Well,
yeah.
true. Yeah.
yeah, the whole thing's just. I think it almost has too much attention for what it's worth, because it's like, oh, so this is a documentary about a regular sign stealer that fumbled and got caught, and now, well, that's what's kind of interesting is now they don't do the signs.
Right.
College football now has the green dot on the helmet, so where the coach is telling them in the mic in their helmet what the plays are. So at least it came
Which
to that.
I don't know. Like, why were they not doing that? Like,
I don't
the
know
tech
either.
is so like you have so much money. Just have.
The
Yes.
NCAA is always behind the NFL, though.
Oh, okay. So I'm like, you have all of this money. Wouldn't you think you'd want the best
That
gadgets?
definitely makes the game more pure. For
Yeah.
what
Sure.
what you don't like is there's no signs anymore because it's all being told in the mic.
Which, if that was a part of it, anyways, of someone on the sidelines being able to detect, like that's part of the game strategy. That doesn't feel unpure to me. It's the shining a light on there's this secret underground. Everyone's trying to cheat and send each other these,
But that
Their
could be blown out of
info.
proportion because like even the guy they had that was the Ohio State blogger person, it's like, who are you?
Right.
sure.
You're a guy that's like,
Some guy behind a
The
keyboard.
one that had
Yeah.
the mask on with the
Yes.
glasses.
drama.
yeah, You're a guy
Reddit
behind a
warrior.
keyboard writing your opinions and your hypothesis on what could be happening in the college football world.
Again,
then-
someone that has probably never played football, has never been in sports. It's just a guy that watches it and
Yep.
Well, and the one female reporter was like, yeah, and I go through those chat rooms and whatever, and like some of the stuff actually ends up becoming true. And it's like, well, yeah, some, but what, 10% out of the entirety?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got how many different opinions in that true?
Exactly. And like a broken clock is right twice a day, or right twice a day too. So it's like you could just say, I think the Saints are going to hire Mike McCarthy. And if that happens, it's like, wow, he's a
See?
genius.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I just shot in the dark and it ended up happening.
So something else, Courtney, about purity. As soon as the NFL, and even before that, went to the green dot, they had teams would have people lip reading. The coaches talking into the.
That's
That-
why you see them.
Yeah, that's why they hold up this play sheet like this.
Oh, wow. Which, I mean, hey,
Do what you can to
game
win.
strategy. Like,
Yeah.
if that's part of your ability to do that, I think if you were like cheating and if you somehow were, this is where is the difference. If that is a part of the strategy that everyone's doing that, fine. You just have a better signal guy. But if you're hiring or you're paying off the security guy that's going to be on that side of the field to
Right.
walkie-talkie to your side, then no, I don't like that.
Or you're
Right.
trying to
Or-
find a radio frequency hacker
Yeah.
to be able to hack into their mic
Yes.
to hear them. Yeah.
And even that, it's like, if that's happening, I just don't want to know about it. I just want
Yeah.
to pretend that it's not happening.
Right.
Because there's a bunch of weird stuff that's happening like that and business stuff. Like, it's a business, it's not a game. I just like to think it's just a game. I don't want to think about the business stuff about
That
it.
happened in baseball too. What was
Yep.
it? The Astros.
Yeah, the Astros.
Whatever.
They would have people in the center field bleachers looking at the catcher, giving signs to the pitcher.
And just figuring out what they are.
Yep.
So know what the pitches were.
Yeah.
That's why the MLB went to the thing on the catcher's leg. He does
So that
like
someone
a
could see.
and then the pitcher's got a microphone or a speaker in his head.
Really?
Oh.
I didn't know they switched to that.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to baseball enough. That's smart. I mean, you're cutting out the
And now you'll
That's
see
up.
like catchers put their glove over their hand because the batter would be looking down to see what he's punching in.
like the same thing with the
Wow.
Yep.
your play sheet covering your mouth.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me if it's still part of the everybody's strategy that can, like, everybody can do it. Then I don't care.
Well, and that's where like them bringing up these chat rooms and this underground whatever. I think they're making those seem more important and more successful than they are.
Got it.
Like
Yeah.
Both of those ones we watched, that one and the Steve McNair one, though, they never ended.
there's no solution.
Yeah.
The
It was
Steve
just
McNair
like, we're
one
just
was
going to tell you
dumb.
the story and then not tell you the conclusion of it.
Well, even the Steve McNair, the like murder is just kind of, well,
We don't know.
we don't know. Let's just kind of leave it be. Yet we just got off of a 3 seasons of Bloodline, where 3 seasons is based off of basically 2 murders, and they're going off of it for 3 seasons trying to figure it out. It's
Right.
like, a show is putting more effort into
Yeah.
these people than an actual murder
The
case.
Steve McNair one sucked.
That's crazy that the other guy came in and was like, this is the result that you had. You asked one guy, and because he said yes off of a picture that you showed him, we're like, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
But then also the guy has never done any cases before.
Yeah, but then the other guy's weird.
Yeah, the other guy, that private investigator, he, to me, was the Ohio State blogger guy. With the,
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like you might have a good point of maybe you should have looked into this a little bit more, but then his whole theory, it's like, well, you're just pulling at strings trying to see what sticks too. You're making a lot of assumptions to get to where you're going.
It seemed like that guy, the one that came in and was like, you guys messed up. It seemed like he was the person that was fresh out of school that knows the actual rubric of what you're supposed to go off of in an investigation. Because he's like, even the one like, so you interrogated someone and you had someone there and you did it at his home turf and with someone that
Yeah.
that's stupid.
like
With his
next to someone like
girlfriend there or
you asked it
whatever?
like that's just like not
Yeah.
the protocol.
you don't.
type of
Yeah,
thing.
he's right though. You don't ever do that. That's like day one stuff.
He was like breaking down, and it seemed like that's what it was. Like, these are the basic protocol points that you guys went opposite or just didn't do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
so it
just,
wasn't like he was like, oh, I've cracked the case by looking at all the things. Like, no, just from a basic how you're supposed to handle a case, they didn't do it this way.
yeah.
And I'm sure that they went into more detail that they didn't show us of, oh, is this the girl you sold the gun to? Yeah, that's her. Okay. Never mind.
Well, true.
Case closed. She
Right.
did it.
Yeah.
Murder, suicide.
Well, because the whole scene, they probably, well, this is the bullet entry and exit, and here's the gun, and like they probably had a whole. This makes sense that the girlfriend would have done it because of the way that the crime scene set up. So it's like they didn't go into that at all either.
Right. Did she have gunpowder on her hand?
Right. Yeah.
Well,
They just didn't have details in that one at all. It
No.
was like, oh, Steve McNair had a decent career and he died, and they think it's his girlfriend, and then one other guy doesn't think it is. End of story.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
So don't watch Untold
Steve
Steve
McNair.
McNair. Maybe watch the
Michigan wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. I don't know.
I think that docu-series, I've liked most of them that
yeah,
we've
they're
watched.
usually way better than the two I feel like we just watched.
the Johnny Manziel one was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because really the murder one, how did it even end? What was the next? Was it the guy that sold the gun is who they thought it was?
No, that's who that investigator thought it was.
And just based off of what would his motive be?
They think he was saying that the
He was trying to
girlfriend
get with the
hired.
girl.
yeah.
But then why would he kill the girlfriend?
Anger. Because she was with someone else or something?
No, they thought it was the guy that sold the gun to her
Yeah.
who killed them.
Yeah.
The one private investigator thought that the girlfriend hired him to do it, but then why would he kill the girl?
Oh, I took it as he was mad because the girl was flirting with him, and then he maybe found out that she was with the football player. So
I
then
don't
just
know.
killed out of anger. I
Maybe.
don't know.
But they didn't explain any of it. It just ends, and like everybody that's alive is like, we just want it to go away. We just want to move on. And it's like, you don't want to know how or why or who
Well, if you go back to
killed Steve
Bloodline,
McNair.
the one that wants it to go away is the one that did it.
Well, you look
Well,
at it.
yeah.
Why would his business partner, ex-player, it's like, I'm not involved anymore, so let it die.
Yeah.
I'm not a suspect anymore, so fine. I don't
Move
care
on,
what
yeah.
happens as long as it's not me. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather see a documentary over that, like them transitioning to the Tennessee Titans and that like
Blowing up,
run
basically.
and them being successful and like interview more people from the team and how it was and that like the story of the Tennessee Titans coming to be and within 4 years going to a Super Bowl. Like that would be a cooler story than
Yeah.
what they ended up doing.
That's
with,
not controversial, though.
well, yeah.
Yeah, because all those stories are like something happened, right? Like
Yeah,
something
Some,
schemy.
yeah, they're usually not. I mean, the Miami University one, that was just like,
I haven't seen that one.
here comes Jimmy Johnson and Miami University, like the one that
Yeah.
we watched a few years ago. Like that one's just like a story of Miami football and how it became like team swagger and they ended up winning national
yeah.
championships
Well,
and stuff. There's no like controversy really with that besides, maybe some, I don't know, like not great guys and getting in trouble and that sort of stuff. But it's basically just about them becoming a successful football team.
That was the same with the Mouse at the Palace one, right?
That
kinda
one's
just like
about like a giant fight that broke out in an NBA game. That one's a little bit more
So not
controversial.
controversial. It's just some
Here's the
crazy shit
story.
happened.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember that one. Yeah, but generally I like those. Those last two were just like
Well, and there's one about
seemed like
the
you had a
Bills.
deadline and you didn't finish.
Yeah, exactly. There's one about the Bills where they go to 4 straight Super Bowls and lose. Like, there's no real controversy with that. It's just like, here's the story of.
But
what they
that's
went
the
through.
same as the Titans one, moving to Nashville, and then 4 years later they're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It was just a documentary about what happened.
Yeah.
Not we think this, and
Yes.
To
we're
where it
going to
would
put our slant on it this way.
It would still be a good documentary because then you get to hear more of the nitty gritty of what happened behind the scenes. That I think is still
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
cool.
A little bit more information of Steve McNair taking over and becoming the starting quarterback, and who are all the players? Like Eddie George is like top 5, top 10 running back of all time. It's like he deserves a documentary on his own, probably.
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Wonder why they didn't interview him.
Well, he probably didn't want to. I'm sure a lot of people don't want to talk about Steve McNair dying,
Yeah, true.
getting murdered.
I really want to know what happens to that Michigan kid if he ends up coaching big time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he ends up.
Especially
Doing
since it
something.
seems like, oh, you can basically just walk in.
I
I just want to coach this team.
I don't think that that's that rare.
Especially
Because,
for
like,
that position, maybe.
Like they said too, like he wasn't a full-time position. He wasn't even getting paid, I don't think, when he first started. Like you're just a football assistant, a team assistant.
To be like,
it's
I
like-
want to be the water guy. Even they get paid.
Yeah, even they get paid probably, but it's like, where can you help? Well, we'll just use the extra help, and it's like an intern, a non-paid intern. It's like, okay, well, I guess you could try
Yeah.
go doing this.
But he did go to that camp, that coach's camp, and that's how he kind of got close enough. So I'm like, how do you even go about, like at Navy, he was at least at the school
Oh,
to where
yeah.
you go to an NFL team. How do you, or a college team, like, how do you even get in contact with anybody that would let you do that? You just walk into the whatever school
yeah.
office and go, hey.
I want to help coach, or I want to do something for the football team. What can I do? I bet it's not that rare, but those people maybe have 10 years within that school or moving to schools and then actually get coaching jobs.
You just kind of have to be around.
Like I
long
bet
enough.
those guys are like, can you go get that whiteboard and bring it in here? It's like,
Sure.
oh, okay, yeah.
And then they just see you around long enough that you're like, oh, could you help me with this? And then you start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you have to sell yourself though too.
Yeah,
Sure.
probably. Yeah.
Show you're more valuable than the position that you're in, so then people start using you for stuff. But
Yeah.
you have to also be willing to do a bunch of shit for free,
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
which that guy was. It's like he was flying to all of the games. Like, how many people are not going to do that?
Yeah.
To where
Yeah,
just
he was-
again, you're around at every single one of their games, and they don't have to pay you to be here
He
or
was
fly
living
them.
out of his car.
So it's like, talk about the commitment. I'll be at every game, and you don't even have to do anything for me to be here.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people that'll do that.
And that's why I think, like, he is intelligent, but it's also he just worked his ass off to get all that.
Yeah.
I mean, doing all that on his own, the whole, like, creating his whole system and then his recruiting system. It's like, you're not even a coach.
Yeah.
Right, nothing to do with recruiting.
Like,
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but how just obsessive people get with it, it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
How long are we into this?
We're good.
Okay.
All right. Subscribe, all the platforms. We're here to stay.
See you later.